Welcome back to another episode of Unranked Podcast. Coming to y'all January 24th. And the Lions are still playing football. It came off of another playoff victory, taking care of the Buccaneers. Love what I saw, for the most part, from the team overall. Kick it over to you, Ida, kind of see what your thoughts were and how the game went and what you liked, how we looked against the Bucs this past Sunday.
Yeah, it's one of those games where we said Baker could have an electric arm. Mike Williams was terrifying. All of the things that we said, and we also said Baker could turn it over. He could get feel good about himself, start pushing it, make issues, or make put himself in predicaments where he shouldn't be. And I think we got a little mix of both. They definitely were moments where they were moving the ball on us a little bit. Mike Williams went off again, but we got the stops when needed, got turnovers when needed. The defense is one of the more interesting units I've ever watched. like I think just how they're broken down, they're like the definition of bend but don't break. They're, the one time we really got the break speed off us was first Lamar Jackson. And I think we were just I don't know what was happening in that game. We couldn't figure out what defense we wanted to stay with. We had a game plan that clearly wasn't working. We didn't pull out. But other than that game, they've maintain afloat, of as many yards they've given up, as many career days that we've given up this year. I can't tell you how many 150-yard receiver plus we've given up this year. Probably a good four.
And last month.
Yes. And, a 92-yard reception versus the Cowboys. I mean, but the defense, when it needs stops, when Baker could have got that ball, went right down the field on us, made it real interesting. They came up with big time play. And it's good to see, just come forward, full circle. I think, defensive line got a little more healthy. That Hutch is looking much more explosive now that he can't just be triple teamed the whole entire game with a chip, with a tight end, with a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of linemen, it was, I think with that not happening, he's probably thinking these games are easy. When you go through that type of punishment, that type of gauntlet for for most of the season, and then you get a running mate back, you get your partner in crime back on the other bookend, and next thing you know, boom, he's right back in the backfield. I think I'm messing the stats up, but he's got hovering around 3 or 4 sacks the last 3 or 4 games. He's constantly in the backfield, just making noise, and that's all you can ask for your number 2 pick. So overall, man, I was ecstatic we could get it done.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to that for a hot second, then I'll throw it back. But obviously I'm a big football fan. I'll be watching the playoffs regardless. Knock on wood for us if the Lions never even made it. We'd be sitting around watching these games, texting about them, watching them. I've never been we were riding a high from this football season. Coming off of the Michigan success and then rolling into the Lions, doubling their playoff win total over the last 30 years, and just the momentum that this team does have. I wish we could take that road crowd with us, or the home crowd with us on the road. I think that's been a blessing, and but I do want to see what these boys can go do, moving forward. But just overall, I think that Bucs team was pretty hot. They had won, 7 of 8 or 6 of 7 or something coming into the game, and it's hard to beat a team twice. So I just think in general we took care of business, and I'm ecstatic that we're even in this position right now.
Sure. Yeah, and I think you and I both were just kind of I wouldn't say we're necessarily on eggshells as far as waiting for them to flop, essentially. They've been starting to. We can start even an example like Michigan. That 2021 season, it was 6-0, and we were just kind of and they dropped that game against State. I don't think you fast forward to 2024. I don't think we really saw what's gonna happen, what transpired. I don't think we really saw that at that point in time. But both these teams have been exercising demons. I think like you said, the goal for us was just to get the playoff win. Kind of get that monkey off our back. They sent Stafford over to us. They weren't going to make it easy. And like you said, just playing, a team with like, I mean, really a lot of Super Bowl guys, still on that roster.
Yep.
Um, really only difference was quarterback, obviously. But to be able to go in there, handle business, great defense, be able to, pretty much get everything we wanted, needed. Um, Goff's been playing great. But yeah, no, I think just overall when it comes to the playoff game against the Bucs, like, I mean, that atmosphere, I tweeted out a pic just about or a video about how, I mean, they started playing Put On by Jeezy before the opening kickoff. And I was just kind of sitting here, like sitting at home, just like watching it transpire. I got like goosebumps. It's like, man, like playoff game in Detroit in
Yeah.
mid-January. And that was a playoff game we didn't think we are going to even get. So that was like,
Yeah.
that Detroit,
Added
the
bonus.
playoff game.
No,
Yeah.
and I don't want to. I just want to interject right at what you're saying.
Mhm.
I was making like I made turn on. I made my wife watch it. I rewound it for her. Like she don't care. But I'm like, this is like I had never seen the
Yeah.
flyover in Detroit with the snow and it's cold. They're showing the Detroit
Right.
River in
Lake,
between
yeah.
Canada
River.
and then zoomed into the stadium. I'm like, I had never
Yeah.
seen that in a playoff type environment. They
Hmm.
do the city view all the way into the stadium. Stadium's rocking.
Yeah.
Packed house. I'm seeing tickets for standing room only. I didn't even know that was a section at the Lions Stadium. So we're just making up ways to get people into the stadium,
Yeah.
keep it loud. And I mean, from a just a happiness standpoint, a fan standpoint, I cannot stress enough. I didn't want to hijack that, but I agree with you.
Oh,
Just
good.
the whole the whole ordeal of it was big
Mhm.
time. And I mentioned before, but the city made another $30 million. Just money flowing through was good for everybody.
For sure.
It's just fun to watch, fun to be a part of. And I don't know if we're ready to jump forward here, but I mean, I could not imagine ever saying a possibility of the Lions playing in the Super Bowl. I just seem such far fetched. It'd be, you know, I don't want to disown our own team, but it'd be like saying, Northwestern, somebody's going to make it to the championship game. Like you just, we know it's mathematically possible, but yeah, not us. And
Right.
that's kind of
Yeah.
how it feels. So, the realization is settling into how good this unit is, and I don't know if you said it's on camera right before we hopped on, but just the onus of it all being on the Niners, heading into this week's game.
Yeah.
The team that's been in this predicament in an NFC Championship game a handful of times over the last few years. Um, you know,
They're trying to get
failed
over a hump
Super
on their own.
Bowls going back 10 years or so. I mean, they're looking to get it done. Moved up in the draft, drafted a quarterback that blew up, complete bust, got rid of him.
Forgot about
Mr.
that. Yeah.
Relevant comes in as the game changer and gets it done. I think all that coming in, and we're just kind of got the bad boy Lions mentality. We're
Hmm.
got Stafford yelling at us about possibly popping players being a little frisky. You got just the coach and his environment, and I don't know, man. I'm hyped for this game. I don't know. I don't know what you have to say regarding this one as far as looking
Yeah.
forward here. The some would say probably what Super Bowl favorites. I mean them.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, people talk about the Jets before Aaron Rodgers went down, but heading into this year, people talk about the Niners, people talk about the Ravens,
For sure.
the Jets every now and then. So I think they've been in this mix for quite a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think, they got some demons to, overcome on their end of things. You already kind of talk about their history with it. They had the Chiefs dead to rights in Super Bowl and couldn't win that game and just some of the bad luck they ran into. So I just feel like, how I'm looking at it is, we're kind of just playing with house money at this point. I think that, confident team, I think what I've liked about this run, overall is that you never seen like the team really waver. Like they've always been like the aggressor. So I feel like that's one thing that kind of gives me confidence that I feel like we can go over there and like play them pretty well. Is that we've done a great job of like helping out the defense by just being damn near unstoppable on offense. To a certain extent. When playing the Rams, able to pretty much give it down the field, like those 3 touchdowns we were able to get in the first half. I mean, that was what we definitely needed, especially what this defense looks like, and same with the Buccaneers, able to get some being opportunistic, getting turnovers, getting sacks, and I feel like I feel like we match up a lot better than people think when it comes to the Niners. And I do feel like, it's one of those things where it comes down to like who has a better quarterback. You know, Purdy kind of been sputtering a little bit here and there. You got Goff just really like ascending. So we need him, Goff, more than ever to, go back. He's got some home cooking from the Bay. Hopefully that kind of
Yep.
helps him just be able to play loose. He's seen the Niners in San Fran before, so none of this is really new to him. This is really where, you kind of put on the quarterback's shoulders to bring it to the finish line. So,
Right. No, I agree with a lot of that. I don't want to kind of talk out of both sides of my mouth here, but and I would say you were spot on when you said house money, nothing really lose. We're
mhm.
potentially not even supposed to be here. We're just the lonely Detroit Lions. So I do think that's the type of momentum or the type of game plan we need to will help us potentially going in. I think I don't want to play completely erratic, but I do think the idea of I heard a couple people can't call on this, but the Dan Gamble, I think just that mindset, that mentality in this type of game can be a little dangerous. If you execute on those couple of crazy plays, I know they're going to cook up. Um, you get needed stops like you have been doing over the last several weeks. I think you have throughout the year. Um, that's the type of environment I think we need from this game as far as first road playoff game. We know golf is potentially shaky. I imagine it'll be semi decent weather out there at least.
Mhm.
But I think you go in there, two-headed monster, heavy dose of the run game, heavy dose of play action. I personally would now is the time to try to find a way to get JMO as involved as possible. Um, Vertically
Yeah.
down the field, bubble screens. I don't, hit him with that reverse again. I think now is the time to if you're gonna make some noise, if you're gonna have a breakout game, if you're gonna have a guy that looking at him, they're like, hey, we know he could potentially blow the top off the defense, but he has 250 receiving yards this year. How much can we focus on him? Now's the time to try to sneak him out and um, you know, sneak him out in ways where just where kind of defense is lowered to sleep, and then he hits you with a big 50, 40-yard bomb. That I think we need that from this team because I think San Fran is real deal. I don't believe in Brock Purdy all that much, but I think pretty much everywhere else on that team pretty loaded. Um, you know,
Yeah.
D line ridiculous. Uh, Weapons spread all over. I mean,
Eli, we got all pros too. We got
yeah,
Amon, we got Panay Sewell, we got Frank Ragnow. Like they're a
yeah.
good team
Sound off.
here
Yeah,
too.
yeah. No, 100. Hey, you're not lying, but we got to go execute. And I think that's the name of the game here is just um, not going and playing scared, but also like you said, continuing to be the aggressor because that's been to our advantage this whole year. So continue to be that aggressor. Sprinkle in those erotic plays every now and then.
Mhm.
With the heavy dose of the run game, heavy dose of play action. And I think we could be sitting here next week talking about Lions Super Bowl, going to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl. I think it is in our cards.
for
You know,
sure.
listen to some of these podcasts. I mean, Skip Bayless talking about the San Fran is going to rest their starters in the second half. And, it's like
It's blatant disrespect.
the amount of disrespect we're getting. Like you know, I don't know. It's just pretty bizarre. So I think we have to go there, weather that initial storm, get some stops early, get some momentum,
Hmm.
uh, and put those points on the board. And I think we're uh, I mean, we can beat anybody. I truly do feel that way.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I think that quarterback, middle of the pack quarterback. So go there and make it difficult for him.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. No, I think it's this is one of them spots where people took the entire offseason thinking that we was gonna get our doors blown off by the Chiefs. And I don't care who wasn't playing, who was playing, whatever that looks like. Because they'll make the same excuses for the Lions when they drop a game to a team that they probably shouldn't have dropped a game to.
Right.
So I just feel like, mainstream media, they essentially just playing Madden. Whoever got the higher ratings, whoever has the bigger name, whoever has, more of the better players, they just automatically gonna assume that they're gonna steamroll us. But well, as I said before we got on here, I liked how, I mean, I like how we've matched up against certain teams that they've played. Like the Packers, that's a team in our division. We split with them, but we watched, Jordan Love, do what he did, made things pretty difficult, on that defense. But then we played the Packers. Even when they did beat us, we was able to move the ball up and down the field. We was able to pretty much get everything we wanted. So it's just gonna come down to one of them things where we just need this defense to just be what they have been, just being opportunistic. I know we're not gonna be able to stop a lot of the receivers. We're not going to be able to, it's be tough keeping Kittle, at bay. But I feel like if we can just, as the field starts to shrink, I think we've done a great job getting into that red zone, and getting a sack on time or getting an incompletion right when we needed it. We were able to, knock Baker and them out of field goal range a couple different times. So I think if we can continue to just play like as how we are on defense, and Hutch can, start to pick up more steam, get some more momentum, I think we definitely have a puncher's chance, even more than that, to get them to knock them off.
No, 100%. I think just speaking on the defense a little more, with their weapons, McCaffrey's, we haven't mentioned whether Debo is playing or not playing, whether he, be a shell of himself if he is out there. But either way, McCaffrey's dangerous enough by himself. You got to go make those tackles at first point of contact. You can't let him spin his way out and run another 15, 12 yards up the field, get that first when it could have been a, third and long or something. And then, so I just feel like those are the type of plays that, and that's every game, but in particular, when it matters the most, you have to really back to the basics and back to the basics as far as just sound tackling. Hutch, I know you want a couple of big sacks, but also just being disruptive and not outrunning the play. Just the defense. I think we find way like we have a cluster of people that play in the defensive backfield or defensive backs. Whether it's Branch or CG Gardner Johnson or whatever. So just somebody needs to make a timely play, get their hands on that ball, give that offense another shot at it, because I think that's the name of the game. Is I think offense
Turn would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be huge. So keep them off, and I really do believe, and we get a little pass happy. It seems to work out, but just keep pounding that rock. Even this last game, we started out, I think we
a couple drives
back at 14-27. We got the opening kickoff.
Pass, punt. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So I think, we can. Sometimes we got the smartest guy in the room syndrome. I don't think now's the time to get that, but I think just go there and play our game, pound that rock.
Yeah.
Let Hutch loose, and I mean, seriously,
do what we've been doing, kicking everybody's ass all season. Like I feel like this team, they definitely got the tools, and it's just gonna be a matter of just getting, I think, 2 sacks, turnover. I feel like if we can do that, something to that extent, I think that will put us in a good spot to be able to win that game.
I'm with it. Yeah, bro. I feel, I don't know. I guess just talk about the season. Like, I don't know. I really just feel surreal about this. Like, obviously I'm a Lions fan, but I've never seen it. Michigan, we had been there. We had kind of tasted a little bit, lost, tasted it, got, but it
always right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And, even back when we were kids, we were in the mix with shit, but this just seems so surreal. And it's one of those roller coaster rides where it does seem like this team just has something about them where they make the right play. They just, things happen when they need to happen. And I'm hoping that can roll in this week as well, where just timely, like football, as much as it is about execution, like there's a good chunk of it is just about pure luck.
For sure.
You fumbled and got that ball back. They muffed that punt. Whatever the case is, just
timely. Blind.
Yeah. You said you're eligible, or you didn't say you're eligible. Things. But no, bro, I'm looking forward to it. And just the Debo situation, I think, is a big factor. I don't know if they're playing games or being a little gaslighting as far as what Yeah. Yeah.
I think they are.
But him out makes them a lot less dynamic. One less, that's their Jahmyr Gibbs. That's their the guy
Bingo.
that anything can happen when he gets his
Mm-hmm.
hands on the ball. So I think that's major. If he obviously, I'm not wishing injuries on him, but it already happened. So if he just if he just happened to miss this one, I wouldn't be the most hurt. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think we I mean this house money. You can go over there. I'm sure they're gonna show up, I know you already mentioned it. Probably have a decent amount of fans show up over there. I just don't think there's an ounce of pressure on this side. I don't think there shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Year three in a rebuild, we ain't traded for not one superstar. I mean, they got Bosa, Young. They just got Young earlier this year, McCaffrey last year. They definitely got them some weapons. Even some, a couple guys from the Eagles team last year to where, I mean, people, they thought we might have been a first round exit. We got a whole bunch of just literally like kids over here that are like, and one prime example, Jameer Gibbs, he one-on-one in the hole with an all-pro safety. Not only did he juke him out, he ran past him, then he threw him out of bounds with a stiff arm. Like we got rookies doing that
yeah,
to all pro
make
people.
it
So like we you can show on our side of things, you got some guys that are not scared either.
yeah.
I'm around St. Brown. I mean, he was a lion the day he was born. He was just meant to be a lion. Got Panay Sewell. I already know what he's about. That entire O line. I think that we got some tools that might shock some people on Sunday. That the casuals that may have only seen what the Niners can do.
Yeah, no, I mean, back to you said the added pressure. I think the added pressure goes hand in hand with what you just said. Similar like a tournament team, like in college basketball. Like, they're too young to even realize that they shouldn't be here. It's a lot of that. Where Gibbs is, he's like, how high you're riding if you play at Alabama, did all of that shit, and you come right into the NFL and your team goes right to the. You're
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, this is easy. I'm the, like I'm
the
him.
confidence.
Like I had a damn near had 1,000 yards and they didn't give me the ball until October. Like,
Right.
it's so I can't imagine how he's riding high and feeling, just straight juked the man out of his shoes and took it to the crib and with 30 million people watching,
Yeah.
I'm the second fiddle here. You got uh, Montgomery just a good back, but a weird kind of a smash mouth, kind of not, kind of, but just a good between the tackles runner. I think we got, and he's a fairly young player. Also, ain't never been in nothing like this. So I think it's one of those things where they bought in. They bought
Yeah.
into what coaches with GM owners are selling. You could tell that um, the people in that locker room with that jerseys on are locked in to a different level with each other
Yeah.
with what they got going on, and that's just exciting to see because we've never had cohesion like that. Um,
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is strong core. Started a couple years back. We started around with that O line. Shout out to Brad Holmes and getting like literally the perfect pieces to the puzzle. Um, we didn't even talk about Branch. That's another guy, on the other side of the ball that's, he's gonna get snubbed for defensive rookie of the year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had him a big game this weekend either. We got
100%.
I'm getting fired up. It's just talking more and more about it. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a great game. It's great to just with how basketball season has been going for the state of Michigan right now. It's great to still be playing football this late in January.
right. No, I agree with you. 100%. You better do the score prediction?
Yeah, yeah. I can jump out there first. I'm gonna
I'll
say,
jump
you
up.
want to jump out there? You jump out there first. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I no. So I'm gonna say this. I don't want to. I think this is gonna be a tough battle. I'm not gonna lie about that. I think this is be we're gonna have to play pretty flawless when you get to this
Mhm.
level of football, this level of coaching,
For
execution
sure.
is matters. You know, little little dumb. We're on a 7 yard line and we go for it and we should have just kicked the field goal. That could be life or death in this type of situation. So I think we're going to put everything to test. Um,
Hmm.
and so I say all that to say, I'm just expecting a good, hard fought game. I'm gonna go 27-23 Lions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do feel like both these offenses definitely gonna be able to get some points on the board. Feel like it'll be I'm gonna go 30-27 Lions.
I'm with it.
Like
And
might
then
be a
I don't.
couple goal, might be one just to put us ahead with a little bit of time left. I think it's either gonna be a game winning field goal or we get that field goal with a couple minutes left, we get the stop we need to punch that ticket to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Hey, and I mean, like you said, house money, but Lions get to the Super Bowl. I don't even know what I would be to do myself. That'd be unbelievable. So, but no, I think it starts with, like you said, it's that execution,
Mhm.
and I mean, we got the team to do this shit. We really do. We got a very, very good built team. Um, Pretty
Yep.
healthy as we've been in forever.
Yeah.
And I think that's good as well. Where a lot of positive signs for us, bro. So I'm looking forward to it. 6:30 Sunday. Uh, Not for all the marbles, but to get a chance at all the marbles.
Yeah. For the first NFC Championship in who knows how
It'll be
long.
the first time we go to the Super Bowl, period. So we
Yeah,
can get ourselves off that list. I think we're the only ones on that list. You know,
man. Yeah. It's
the Lions been around since the 1910 or some shit, and there's teams that were made in '97 that made it. Like it's pretty crazy. So, um,
yeah.
yeah,
Exercise is a
no, I'm
real
with you.
demon. It's been exciting. It's been a hell of a run. It's been an exciting run. And I hope we can just pray we can get a few more weeks of football season. It'd be lovely.
100%. Yeah. No, I thought we'd be knee deep in draft. So,
Right. Yeah, that's what I was looking at the box yesterday, like, well, we might just skip over the basketball season
yeah.
altogether.
But no, a few more weeks. That's all we can ask for.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Peace.
Be back with y'all next week.
Yes, sir. Go Lions.